Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another fabulous week of our English 101 class. We are so close to being done, guys. You would not believe how close we are to being done. We've got one major essay left, and then that's it. Our summer class will be concluded, and you'll get to go bask in the sun or float the river or whatever makes you happy in the final days of relaxation. So today you are submitting the final draft of Project 2, the Trial by Media essay. I've been looking through your process so far. It looks like most of you are on the right track, so fabulous work. Looks like we got some good feedback on our peer reviews, which I'm very grateful for. And I'm excited to see how you revised based on that feedback and how these ideas are coming together for you today. So that is due at midnight tonight. If you're just brushing it up, making the finishing touches, putting a little glitter on it, whatever makes it shimmer and shine, I'm excited to see that. Then we're moving right into Project 3, and Project 3 is building on these themes of justice that we've looked at through true crime and all these other elements. Agatha Christie and her fiction novel based on true crime, and then of course the Trial by Media, which is true crime and then true judicial process. And now we are looking at kind of more cultural identity and cultural events and how justice and revenge kind of play in how we understand the world and how we interact with other humans and how we create our own identities. All great things to ponder. So what we're doing in Project 3, and I go over all this in the recorded lecture in the modules tab, which of course you all are watching, so yay, good job. You're watching it this week. Spoiler alert. As you're watching this video, we are going to be talking about different kind of touchstone historical events, not way past historical, but we're looking like the past 50-ish years, where two cultural identities, deeply held cultural identities, clashed mostly they clash in tragic ways, unfortunately. So you're going to once again be picking from a case list, and there's a lot of options for you to choose from, and I'll go through all of those in our recorded lecture as well. Cases like the Charleston church shooting, which was an African-American church, and a KKK white supremacist person came in and shot a bunch of people at a prayer meeting, which is terrible and tragic. And so then you would look at those two cultural identities, the cultural identity of white supremacy and the KKK, and the cultural identity of the church-going African-American community. Look at those two groups, identify what makes person part of those groups, and then talk about how those deeply held identities led to this clash. And then we'll talk about the psychology of, can we look at our biases? Can we change biases? How do biases work within the human psyche? And we're going to discuss all that in our essays as well. So lots of really cool, interesting things to work with. So you're going to be watching those lectures in the modules tab as they were for all the other projects. And then you'll be doing some research about your case and writing a fabulous essay. This week, we're going to be looking at the PowerPoint Culture, Bias, and Justice. And you're going to be doing a discussion board called Where Bias Begins. We're going to be looking at, in the human brain, how does bias operate? How does it dictate actions and understanding of the world? And bias, in and of itself, is a fairly neutral quality. Most of the time when we think bias, we think like negative, right? But bias just means you lean one way or the other. Like, it doesn't have to be intrinsically bad. Oftentimes it is because of how human nature works. But I have a bias to chocolate chip cookies over oatmeal raisin cookies. A bias, preference, something like that. So it doesn't intrinsically have to be bad. But most of the time when we're talking about it, it is bad because it's a bias based on skin tone, or gender, or socioeconomic status, or limited ability, or those kind of things tend to color the way we see the world and the way we interact with other people and the way we make our decisions. So we're going to be reading some cool articles and using our excellent critical thinking skills and our schemas to make sense of them in a discussion board. Then we're going to be watching a PowerPoint on cultural analysis, which is the genre of essay we're going to be writing. This is a very standard academic first-year writing essay. So across the board, if you were going to CBC, you were going to Eastern Washington, you were going to UW, you're going to OSU, you'd probably be writing a cultural analysis essay. Very standard fare. So we're working on that here with an added research element, which is very fun. You're going to be watching the video on the prompt and the case list on Wednesday, and then you're going to start researching for an annotated bibliography. This is a two-part assignment. So you've got your Project 3 essay, just like all of your other project essays. It's going to be an essay with a works cited page. Separate from that is the annotated bibliography. This is a different document. You're going to submit it at a different time, but it's on the same topic as Project 3. It's going to be a research journal of the research you found while preparing for Project 3. So I go over that in great detail in the annotated bibliography video, which is in the modules tab, so check that out. Basically, just a way to make your life easier as you're researching so that you can remember what you found, remember what articles were helpful, remember the quotes and how they were helpful. You'll have your citations already made, so you can just copy and paste those into your works cited page. It really is a time saver as you're going through the research process. And when you get into English 102 or English 235, which are your two options after this class, both of those classes require very detailed, very intense annotated bibliographies. So I want to give you a chance to practice that and get good at it in this safe, much lower stakes environment. So that by the time you get to 102 or 235, you're like, this is easy, no problem, I already did this. Hopefully that's your experience. So we're going to get some practice here with Project 3 as we do a little annotated bibliography, a little research journal. So that when you get to the next classes, it's going to be so much easier. It's going to be awesome. And then on Friday, you're going to be taking something called the Implicit Bias Association Test. This is done through Harvard. I know they're super smarty pants over there, Ivy League schools and whatnot. You're going to click on the link. It's going to take you to the Implicit Bias Association Test. You just have to scroll through this and say, I won't sue Harvard if I don't like my results on the test. And then you're going to pick a test. These tests are not foolproof, but they are a fairly reliable way of identifying unconscious bias leanings in the human psyche. So there are a couple here that are more useful than others, so I'm going to ask you to skip some. You only have to take one test. Yay. And we want to look at ones that might have some applicability to the essay we're writing. So Jewish identity, yes, that works. Race, absolutely. Gender and career, yes. Religion, yes. Skin tone, yes. Hispanic, yes. Arab, Muslim, yes. Age, disability, yes. Gender and science, we can skip that one. Still a great test, but it doesn't have the clear connections necessarily to the research we're doing in Project 3. Same as the weapons one. Doesn't have the clear connection to the research that we're doing in Project 3, so skip that. Skip the president's one. Once again, interesting, but doesn't have anything to do with our Project 3 essay. Native, yes, you can do that one. Weight, you can do. Transgender, sexuality, Asian, do all of those. Just skip gender and science, weapons, and presidents. Don't do those. You can pick any of the other ones, and you only have to take one test. So pick any of the other ones to do. Because the way that they identify bias is something that you can discuss in your Project 3 essay in the penultimate paragraph. So that's the second to last paragraph. You'll be talking about unconscious bias on a more personal level. So that'll give you some material to talk about then in your essay, which is pretty cool. We're building the pieces for the essay already, and we haven't even started it. Fantastic. So that's what we're working on this week. I want to encourage us as we're getting near the end. Sometimes it's easy to kind of lose our steam, right? We're like, oh, I've been working so hard and it's summer and I just don't want to anymore. And that is a fair emotion to be feeling. But hang in there because we are so close to being done. Because if you take a look at our schedule, here's today. We're going to work all of this week on building the foundation of Project 3. All of next week, you're going to work on writing Project 3. And then you turn in your annotated bibliography on the 14th. You turn in your Project 3 on the 15th. And then we're done. Like, that's it. Finito. We are all done. So I know it's hard, but like, keep pushing. You're almost there. You are so close. So hang in there. I just want to encourage you. It can be so discouraging. But hang in there. We're so close to being done. Let's finish this thing strong, right? Yay! And as always, if you want to take your essays to the Writing Center, please feel free to do that. Just send me an email with a copy of the feedback you get from your writing mentors or reviewers or however you want to label them. And then send me an email with that feedback that you got from them, send me their name, and I will get you extra credit points. You can do that once per project. So up to 3 times this quarter, it's 10 points every time. So it adds up. It's really good stuff. And here's our Project 3 folder. It's got everything we need. Here's the recorded lecture you're listening to tomorrow. There's the PowerPoint if you want to look at it in more detail. Here's our case list. In PowerPoint form, if you want more detail about them, I put like a little Wikipedia blurb about each one, so you've got information to make an informed choice. Here's what Word doc list, if that's easier. Here's the Truth About Stereotypes article we're going to be using for one of our discussion boards. And then here's all the essay stuff, the prompt and case list you're doing on Wednesday. We've got an essay outline. Please use this to help you write your essay. And here's the thesis worksheet. And if you're using a YouTube video, here's how to cite it, because oftentimes lots of these cases were covered on national news, and you find clips of that national news on YouTube. Here's how to cite that as well. There's a whole section on how to do your annotated bibliography. Here's the video that will walk you through how to do the annotated bibliography. So make sure to watch that too. Pretty, please. I'll talk about it again next week, but please watch it. It will help you so much. And that's what we're working on. We're already on Project 3. Woohoo! We're almost there, guys. Hang in there. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm here to help.